Well, been watching a bunch of random movies lately and trying to make somewhat of an effort to catch up on the Oscar nominations that I never saw. Which is kind of crazy because, I watch a lot of movies, then they come out with these nominations and I haven't seen fucking half of them. Oh, did I just swear 30 seconds into the video and YouTube's gonna demonetize my video? I was never monetized in the first place, so fuck, shitty, fuck. So my options this week were go see Magic Mike 3 or take a hot, fresh movie dump and give you guys my opinions on some of the random shit I've been watching lately. Magic Mike 3, movie dump. Let's take a dump. RRR. This is absolutely insane. One of the most ridiculous action movies ever. This is a Bollywood flick based in the 1920s. There's a couple of Indian dudes, okay? And they're fighting against British imperialism with their out-of-this-world superhuman abilities. And those abilities seem to be fueled by friendship. So I'm watching this thing. At an hour and 50 minutes, that's approaching 2 hours. I pause it to see how much time I got left, and I see that there's still an hour and 15 minutes to go. Flabbergasted, I'm sitting there like, what am I doing here? And then, shortly after that, something happened. It was around the 2 hour mark or so, they played out two very integral scenes that boosted the character development of these two guys. And just like that, my mindset switches to, this is fucking awesome. RRR is fucking awesome. There are the typical Bollywood tropes in there, like the bad CG and random dubbed over voices, but that's fine. And if you watch Bollywood flicks, you know that it's kind of a custom for them to have a full-blown song and dance scene. And we got that, and that's actually nominated for an Oscar, the song. I gotta admit, it's pretty fucking catchy. Nacho, 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 nacho. If you've got 3 hours to kill and just want a fun-ass time watching the most ridiculous action, RRR is what you want to check out. I'm telling you, once you get past that 2 hour mark, it's more than worth it, okay? Check out this scene. Awesome. The menu. Okay, I don't really want to talk too much about this one because the less you know, the better it is. If you've ever worked in the service industry or been around it in some way, I think you're gonna love this. And personally, I think it's one of my favorite movies of 2022. Kind of sad that I didn't see it in theaters. I waited for it to come out on HBO Max. The acting was spot on, the references to Chef's Table were spot on, and there were multiple jaw-dropping moments that I found delicious. Banshees of INISHERIN. First off, this flick is a goddamn gorgeous thing to look at. Every shot is beautiful, from the green-ass grass to the green-ass coast. You know when your TV's on but you're not watching anything and it goes idle and cuts to these Google Earth images? It's like a slideshow every couple minutes. From now on, my TV will no longer go idle. I'm just gonna throw this movie on and mute it. Basically, this is about two best friends. One of them doesn't want to be friends anymore, and it just kind of plays out from there. For sure, this can be interpreted in a few different ways, and I've heard a few different interpretations of it. For me, what stood out was how funny it was. It's like this weird dark comedy that fleshes out the humor in how people talk to each other. I laughed my ass off most of the movie. And yeah, it is dark and depressing and sad and fucked up. There are some fucked up moments in this. Did I mention that this is based in Ireland? And I just love how the Irish say fuck. thick. Thick. Are you feckin' stupid? Are you feckin' kidding me? All quiet on the Western Front. This is a German-based World War I movie, and it's nominated for Best Picture. I watched it on Netflix, and funny enough, the German was already dubbed over in English, but with English accents. Like, British accents. The Germans had British accents. I don't like war. I wish it would end. And I'm German. This is about a German teenager during World War I, and he's excited to join the war and, take over the world. Whatever motivation Germany had in WW1. Surprisingly, he discovers how terrible war is, and he has to deal with it as this war comes to an end, being on the losing side. I've got some mixed feelings about this one. As a movie, it's very well made. The camera work is great, and it just looks stunning. They also really drive that message home of war is bad. And seeing the German side of things is a perspective that I haven't seen before. I believe this is a remake. I never saw the original. However, personally, I found it kind of hard to sympathize with the Germans. I think it absolutely sucks for these guys that are on the front lines taking orders from the top. But I'm not, rooting for them to win or anything. There are these up-close and brutal scenes with the Germans fighting the French. Allies of the US. Okay, I've gotten to know these characters, but I don't want the Germans to win. And I know that they don't win, and I know what happens later on. I mean, the Germans started it, and 17 million people died, and then knowing what leads up to World War II... I don't really feel bad about the Germans losing World War I. Yeah, good war movie. Interesting, but also weird perspective for me. If you're looking for a World War I flick to watch, 1917. There you go. 1917, all day. Love that one. Shotgun Wedding. Much like The Lost City, this is an action rom-com. J-Lo and Josh Duhamel are getting married on an island in the Philippines. Suddenly, the wedding is interrupted by pirates to force J-Lo's father to give them money. It's one of those hostage situations where regular people are on the loose, sneaking around trying to save everyone. Maybe I'm just a sucker for this formula, but I had a blast watching this. J-Lo and Josh Duhamel have the best chemistry as this couple working together to try and save their families. The wedding guests, they're all hilarious. I think it's a fun idea to take the wedding guests themselves and put them all in one space and create these little cliques that all have their own funny little jokes. The standouts for me were J-Lo's sister, Josh Duhamel's best man, and J-Lo's ex-fiance, Lenny fucking Kravitz. Now, what made this all work for me was the comedy, slapstick kind of stupid couple humor, I'm into it, and the kill count. There's a lot of tiny little details in this that are hilarious. It's nice when you can tell that a director gives a shit about the little things, even for a movie like this. The interactions between the hostages and the pirates are very funny. I think there's a lot of passive-aggressive comments that are funny. And Jennifer Coolidge is just right. Perfect amount of Coolidge to keep the laughs coming, but not be obnoxious, which is a very hard thing to do. J-Lo and Josh Duhamel have a higher kill count than Megan had in her movie. And they also made sure that every kill had some kind of humor involved too. Definitely an easy, silly, yet sweet rom-com to throw on if you're just looking to have a dumb laugh. I like this way more than I should. Garden State. I randomly threw this one on. I haven't seen it in over 10 years. I like it, but not in a way that I would have when I was in high school. In case you forgot, this is a dude living in LA as a struggling actor. His mom dies, and he goes home for the funeral. He reconnects with old friends and unexpectedly finds love. The way Garden State is made, it's like a time capsule for me, and it brings forth a lot of nostalgia. The music for sure triggers that nostalgia.
So let go, jump in, well, what you waiting for?
But even the way that it's paced with random scene after random scene. They don't really make movies like that anymore. It was Zach Braff's first movie he directed, and yeah, it's very rough around the edges, but it has this sweet nature to it. Natalie Portman's character is so sweet, and other characters do and say things that are so sweet. The main conflict is like a conversation that Zach is avoiding to have with his dad. And I think when he wrote it, he thought it was going to be this huge heartfelt scene. And I may have liked the scene more when I was younger, but I don't think it's that good now. I needed more there to solidify how these two characters actually feel about each other. We hear a lot about Zac Efron's dad from, Zach Braff. I hope I didn't say Efron too much through this, but I meant Zach Braff. His character talks a lot about his dad, but we don't get too much from his dad. Instead of some of the random scenes we get where they try to make it comical, I would almost just separate his dad as a side character and build his story. You got a dude whose wife just died, and in a way he blames his son, and he's medicated his son for all these years, and this is why his son resents him, and we don't get to flesh this guy out at all. I would have liked to see him almost built up as a villain, and then have this big, awesome conversation at the end that we kinda got. Like I said, rough around the edges. So yeah, I'd say throw it on if you want some early to mid 2000s vibes. Not as good as I originally thought when it came out, but it's still good enough. Whew! What a dump, everybody. I think I'm glad that I watched a collection of flicks instead of going to see Magic Mike 3. I think I could skip that one, huh? Maybe I'll save it for a future movie dump, huh? How's that sound? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. More dumps on the way, I guess. See ya! Subscribe! So, my wife and I have this Garden State joke that's been going on for years. I said before Zach Braff went home because his mom died. Well, Zach Braff's character, when he was a child in this, shoved his mom, and the dishwasher door was open. And so when he shoved her, she fell backwards over this dishwasher door and broke her neck, paralyzed. And the thing is, years later, she died while taking a bath, assuming that she slipped and drowned or whatever. So anyway, whenever the dishwasher's open, I will accuse my wife of trying to Garden State me, or she will accuse me of trying to Garden State her. It's kind of fucked up, huh? Fucking awesome!